Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. And it's time to talk about the MCU's latest show, Secret Invasion. It feels like a hot minute since we last got some MCU stuff, especially on Disney Plus regarding television shows. But I'm glad we got something now. But I do feel the gap between the last show, which was whatever the hell that was, and
She-Hulk,
this show. Was it? Oh my
November.
goodness. So yeah, fair enough. I think we've had enough time now.
Mhm.
Because initially we were getting shows, coming out very orifice, and I think with a show that's come out a little bit later, I think we can finally appreciate some Marvel stuff because we waited so fucking long for it. And this time we've got a stellar cast of actors from Don Cheadle, aka Gaz's favorite, Olivia Colman, Amelia Clark, Ben Mendelsohn. Um, oh my god, Agent Ross, his name escapes me right now. Um,
Martin,
Martin
Martin,
Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
Martin
Yeah.
Freeman, Martin Freeman, and of course Samuel L. is back, son. Yes, because Nick Fury is here. So massive, massive cast for the first episode, and I have to say, talking about episode one, spoilers ahead. My fellow friends, I was a little bit underwhelmed with this episode. I don't know how you guys felt. Um, Obviously, we had a massive, massive twist at the end, which was something I didn't see coming. But nevertheless, I thought this episode wasn't necessarily the greatest episode, not the best way to start a show. But maybe things will start to improve as we go along. Gaz, what do you think of episode one?
Well, I'll go to the good stuff first, and then I'll go into the bad. The good stuff. Well, I'll summarize. I thought actors were really good. I thought they managed to portray the kind of like mysterious sort of espionage plot they're going for. The bad stuff was that I found myself like kind of like zoning in and out of it because kind of like they weren't really involved in much. There was like a lot of stuff where I was like, what, who, where, why? I just it's almost like I was like coming. This, do you know what this felt like? It felt like I was coming in midstream in another movie or another TV series because it felt like there's a lot of stuff that they kind of had either left out or it's not that I had to have it explained. It's just that we as an audience haven't been introduced to it yet. So it's like maybe they'll introduce it to us at later down stage. But I agree with you, Sam. I just felt very underwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help that we've seen Samuel L. Jackson in the Marvel trailers as well. That really doesn't help whatsoever because it kind of made me feel that he's going to survive this. And some people might say this is before Marvel, but I doubt it. But you look at Samuel L. Jackson, he's fucking bearded up and everything, scruffy looking. He looks a lot more clean cut in the Marvel trailer. So I do feel this is obviously after this. Um, Cheeto, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like I think this is like the opposite problem that Andor had. Not that it's bad, but Andor gave us what 3 episodes right off the bat to kind of get
Mm-hmm.
things rolling. Like, think about it. That first episode, like they are definitely going for more of an Andor approach with this Marvel series. So it's like we probably should have gotten maybe the first 2 episodes this week. And I know it's only 6 episodes, but
Yeah.
I feel like that giving us an extra episode to kind of kick things into high gear would have, as I said, Andor, we got the first, I think, 3 episodes right off the bat. So, I mean, we kind of hit the ground running, I think, with Andor like that. I think this series would have also benefited from having an extra episode of the first week, to kind of keep the intrigue going. But because there's only 6 episodes, they're not going to give us, that we're not only going to get 5, they don't want to give us only 5 weeks of content. So, I, you know, I do agree with you. It's a little bit of a lackluster start. I'm trying to reserve my reservations to like the mid-season, where it's like, where are we going from here? Type thing. Because usually around the mid-season is where things like these kind of slow burn shows kind of start kicking into higher gear. So yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts on this episode.
So how do you find Nick Fury in this? Because he is a very different Nick Fury. You know, he feels like a broken man. You know, he's limping a little bit. Looks to be a little not as sharp as he used to be. You know, apparently he's been. Everyone says that he's been affected by the blip, the snap. However you want to look at it. What do you think, Cheats?
I mean, this. I don't know. This whole broken down old man Fury is just kind of. Eh. I don't know. I'm not digging that really. The one thing that was great about the Winter Soldier is that it was about two guys in their prime. Bucky and Cap. Even though they were old because they were frozen in ice,
Yeah, yeah,
they were still men in their prime. This is like grumpy old men, the spy movie. Like it. And honestly, it's like with what happened with Maria Hill at the end, it's like, okay, so we're going to be following. I mean, Mad Mickelson is great. I love him, but it's like, so we're going to be following these two older guys as they walk around.
Mad Mickelson,
Not Mad Mickelson.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn. We're going to be following these two older dudes around, and it's not like I'm not looking for like Captain America levels of action, but these guys don't move. I mean, we always joke about Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel being de-aged and looking like a 70-year-old dude running around. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know how. As I said, I like Nick Fury, but I think he may have been past his prime for this one. If this came out maybe 10 years ago, we might have had a little bit better, but this just old broken down Fury needs to just retire and just not be here.
What say you guys regarding Nick Fury?
I loved how it's introduced with that sort of like almost like lift thing where he's like see the
Mr.
lift
Bean?
thing and you see the thing. Yeah, when he comes out of that
Yeah.
transport and then he steps out of it. I love that intro. I don't the word parts of it. I'm going to disagree a little bit with what Cheeto said. I do think there's aspects of it that were really good. Like for example, when he allowed himself to get kidnapped by Olivia Colman's cronies and he puts the camera onto the owl's eye. I thought that was really good, and I thought
That's
that
only
was
because
like
Samuel Jackson
using
couldn't film
his
an
knowledge
action
of
scene of
what
getting
a
kidnapped.
person was going to do to use it for his advantage.
Now I'm very split on this. Yeah,
I
because
mean, I just
no, regarding him being
I mean,
kidnapped.
the thing is, I, I'm gonna, I'm gonna posit something to you and see if you agree with me. I think it was more impressive to do it that way because it shows that he's using the gifts he has, which is like his years in the field, his knowledge of human behavior to his advantage. So he knew that Olivia Colman was going to have her cronies bring him to her, and he could like use that advantage, and that's the reason that he planted that thing in the owl's eye. And I thought, and that paid off later. It wasn't something that was just left and we didn't think about. And also, like he's using a lot of human psychology to his advantage. And I thought that was more beneficial than if we just seen him like I don't know fist fighting to guys and getting like having to and then getting like pressed upon about 6 different guys. I just think. I just think that would have been kind of taken away from what that scene was trying to do, in my opinion. You feel free to disagree with me, but that's just my opinion on it.
I do.
I'm just a bit torn on whether it was intentionally kidnapped or not. But there are parts of him that make me think he
He
was
said he
because
was.
he says he says he was, but that could be him covering his own arse or his own incompetence. Like
I got that hint too that he was like, "Oh, I let them kidnap me," and it's like, yeah, he's just playing. Like he gave us that hint that he was playing it off.
but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, well, he did say he wanted to go for a walk because maybe he wanted to get kidnapped, and all of that. Why is he going? Like, he's just been told that the Skrulls want to eradicate human beings, and now he's going to go for a fucking walk. So probably he might have wanted to be kidnapped. So I'm a bit torn on it. At the same time, the fact that he did get kidnapped, he did use that to his advantage by obviously putting a camera there and stuff like that, which was pretty cool. And we'll see how all of this other stuff plays out. Now, it was good to see more of the Skrulls in this because like unlike the Flag Smashers, who we never really got to see, we kind of saw them scheming, but we never necessarily saw their environment too much. Here with the Skrulls, we kind of got to see how their layout is and the society they're building, and apparently they're they're immune to radioactivity, which is why Russia and like parts maybe Chernobyl and stuff like that is ideal because human beings will leave them alone because they can't go to the radioactive areas and they can bring up their society. And we saw this one dude popping in there, and he proves to be a Skrull. Amelia Clark, says hello to him, and he gets some blue Skrull vegetable to eat, which was pretty cool. They're growing their own veggies. The Skrulls are their own produce. But we also find out that Amelia Clark's character is the daughter of Ben Mendelsohn. And Ben Mendelsohn himself, he's lost his wife. No real explanation how she died. She's just dead. Which is
I think she's coming back. I think she's coming back.
Well, rumors are that they couldn't get the actress to come back. So this is why they play her off as dead. Maybe it was difficult for them to use her as well without her being like so stuck to Ben Mendelsohn when in the way they kind of wanted maybe Ben and Nick Fury to Talos and Nick Fury to bump off each other and all of that. And Agent Ross as well, by the way. This is interesting. Like the Agent Ross we've seen since Black Panther. Like, has he always been a Skrull?
No.
No.
So
no, they're just inferring that he's that in that scene he was a Skrull, like because they wanted to get a hold of the information. That I did not take that as he's always been a Skrull.
But you only end up maybe replicating somebody if you've got a hold of them. So, in my opinion, I think Agent Ross, the real Agent Ross, is being taken hostage by the Skrulls.
Maybe
they couldn't afford. They can't afford to have the real Agent Ross out there. At the same time. So I think when they do end up rescuing all the human beings that have been, all the influential ones that the Skrulls have, have taken hostage, I think Agent Ross will possibly be one of them. But we don't. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long this Agent Ross has been kidnapped for, if he ever explains.
No, but here's the thing. No. But here's the thing. The bad Skrull. I don't remember his name right now. The radical Skrull. He was able to imitate Nick Fury, and he didn't have Nick Fury. He saw.
Yeah, but that was for that particular moment. But you need to have Agent Ross in your custody, because then there'll be two Agent Rosses.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I'm saying. If he just went there as Agent Ross to get the information.
No, but Maria Hill was communicating with that Agent Ross as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that. I don't want to say simple. I don't know if it's. I think maybe that he was just imitating Agent Ross, and it was just in the moment.
He was communicating with Shield or Saber or Sword or whoever the fuck they are now. You know what I mean? He was going, I need an exit and all of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, if Agent Ross wasn't the real Agent Ross, wasn't like, he could easily have, if he was not in custody by the Skrulls, he could easily scupper their plans if he reports in or whatever. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So okay, so we'll find out hopefully. But Martin Freeman's a big time actor, and he's only used for a cameo. We'll see if he ends up showing up, later on in this show. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he is a hostage, but it'll be interesting to know how long he's been a hostage for, and how long this particular impersonator has been impersonating Agent Ross. It'll be very interesting to know all of these particular things. Regarding Amelia Clark, who played, what's the name of Talos' daughter?
Is it Gaia?
Guys, you would know.
I think it's Gaia.
I I think it's like
It's another word for Earth,
'cause,
and I want to say it's Gaia.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think obviously she will defect. I'm not sure if she believes in exactly what the Skrulls are doing when it comes to um their overall plan. I think she maybe just wants a place that the Skrulls can call their own, and I think she might end up being turned off with this bigger thing, like because
Yeah, it's
I
Gaia.
was just cutting to the end here. That explosion that happened at the end, people died. There's no way, there's no ifs or buts. Lots of people fucking died, and this particular explosion as well could start a war between different
That's what they
countries
wanted.
too.
So
Yeah. So apparently, this because all these scrolls are just generally they are fed up of waiting for Nick Fury to give them what they want. But finding a fucking planet, I guess, is not that easy. Personally, I
well,
would have given them I would have given them Thanos' planet, the one he settled down on.
yeah, like
Maybe that was
okay. So here's my big plot. Here's my big problem with this is like they're relying on Nick Fury, a guy who lives on a pre-warp or pre-hyperspace or whatever mode of transportation they use in Marvel Cinematic Universe. Their race is a pre-warp. We'll just say pre-warp for the sake of it. Civilization. Why are they relying on a pre-warp civilization to find them a home when they have spaceships? Like the Skrulls are not all trapped on Earth. They have vessels. They may not have a home world, but they have vessels. Why don't they just hire the Guardians to find them a planet? Like,
yeah, I agree.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't understand like why
And
it
like
like
I said, the planet that Thanos lived on would have been ideal. It seemed like he had the whole fucking planet to himself. He was the only person, I believe, when it came to them trying to find him.
yeah,
Um,
that's the biggest plot hole in this whole thing that I'm trying to forget about because it's going to irk me every time I watch because I'm like every time they say you had 30 years to find this planet. Why are you relying on Nick Fury? Find it yourself. Like you guys are a space varying race.
yeah, fucking, it didn't even Nick Fury. Fucking Captain Marvel could have taken him there.
Yeah, Captain Marvel could have.
Because she was also part of that contingent
And she
of
was with the
finding them.
Skrulls
Yeah,
for several years after, because I
yeah,
mean, it's implied that she was with the Skrulls for a long time after the events of Captain Marvel. Like so, because she went to fight in the Kree Skrull War, like after they left Earth and like after they scared off the accusers and everything like that. So it's just like, what's happening? What is going on? Anyway, just
yeah.
that kind of irked my underbelly.
So there's news obviously of an explosion after, I think after Fury tapped Olivia Colman's place. They found out there could be an explosion going on in some part of like Moscow near Red Square. And by the way, was it me, boss man, or did a lot of Moscow look like fucking London? Yeah,
I think they might have been.
a lot of filming
You'll
was in
forgive me
London.
being cynical, but I do think that's where they filmed it.
Yeah, I think a lot of filming was done in London. With those double yellow lines, man, they were sticking out to me so bloody much, and just some of the architecture as well just felt very British, not fucking Russian
Can we talk
whatsoever.
about the really bad stuff that was in this episode for a minute?
Bring it up.
The fucking AI intro was fucking atrocious.
Come on, man! What that?
It was the worst. They couldn't hire just a guy to do it or a girl. No,
Mate,
they
that
had to
costs
get
money.
fucking AI.
But
Yeah,
but I mean that's your hang up.
think
Like your
Tony
hang
Rose
up is the
produced
AI
lots of
generated
that.
intro. Like
no, I'm not the
I
biggest
think
fan of that
Tony
intro
Rose
either.
come up with better stuff.
I wasn't the biggest fan of that intro
I
either,
can't
but
talk the shit, and I could come up with something better than that.
I'm just thinking that the intro itself, like it it's not that significant to the overall product of what we're watching. What matters is the drama that unfolds on our screen. But yeah, I thought it was shit too. I do think that Disney tried to save themselves some dollars by going down this route, but it'll cost
I
a
don't
lot
think
more
so.
money to hire somebody.
I think they were trying to be clever and like making that like having an AI do an intro. I don't think they were trying to save money. I think it was just they were trying to be clever and be like, oh,
If they
this.
want to do AI do an intro, then make a fucking Ultron series and then do it that way. You know, I mean, that makes fucking sense. Make a fucking Vision series and then do it that way. But with the Skrulls, no, I don't think so. You know, I don't think it was right because Skrulls are not AI; they are living, breathing creatures. Um, but to use artificial intelligence, if you like, there's artificial intelligence in the MCU, as we already know with Ultron and Vision being two of them. You know, they could have done that. You know, you got Friday as well. You know, they could have done that. You know, you got the fucking whoever's in Peter Parker's fucking Spider-Man suit from Homecoming. You know,
Jennifer Connelly.
is Jennifer Connelly. I know that, but I don't know the name of
I don't remember. That's
of
why I
the
just call it
AI.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, so all of this AI is there. Use the AI out for that. That will make sense. Not for the fucking scrolls. I agree with you that it was shit, but I don't think it's that big a deal at the same time.
No,
You
it
know what I
wasn't.
mean?
But I will say what the other stuff was that the that look, Amelia Clark was one of the best things about the villains. Because again, I'm with Marvel. This is a constant complaint with them. Their villains are shit. Let's and
I don't
these
think
villains
Amelia
are nice.
Clark is a villain, dude. I don't think she, the other dude, that sort of mixed race looking guy, he's the villain. You know,
Yeah,
I think
the blonde
Amelia Clark.
guy.
I
Yeah,
think
and
Amelia
Amelia
Clark
Clark
is
who
going to
the
be like.
default agent for.
I think she's going to be the person who sees that her side has gone too far, and will then obviously go running back to into her father's arms and all of that sort of shit. You know, that's where I see Amelia Clark in this. I don't know about you guys.
Oh no,
I
she's
don't know.
definitely gonna be she's gonna be on the like I think that the scrolls, the bad scrolls, used Amelia Clark's connection to Talos, Ben Mendelsohn, to to set up that whole bait. And like I think she thought that she was actually delivering the packages. I don't think that she knew that she was delivering empty bags.
Yeah, I yeah for sure.
So I think after the
So
bombs go up, I think she's going to join her dad and Nick Fury.
yeah, because it'll be more, yeah, especially with maybe if she knew Maria Hill or whatever, and she might have known Nick Fury as
I mean, she
well.
fought Maria
It'll,
Hill, but I don't know if she thinks she knew her.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be a bit too much for her as well, and it'll be interesting to see how many scrolls switch sides. Now, I'm not sure about you regarding the scrolls, but the scrolls for me, they feel like they copy your DNA, but they also seem to copy clothes as well, which I've always found a bit weird. I look at someone like Loki. I mean, he impersonates people, but he does it with magic. It's not part of his DNA in the sense, you know. Whilst the scrolls they copy your DNA, but yet they also copy clothes on top of that. I mean, even down to fucking glasses that Samuel L. Jackson's character was wearing. And so when the evil scroll killed Maria Hill, he also had fucking glasses on. You know what I mean? It's a bit too much, as far as I'm concerned, regarding copying. Um, but that's how it goes. Now, just to cut to the end here, when we do get to that scene where they look for the bags and they got X's on them, the bad guy that Nick Fury was following, every time he cut a corner, he would change into somebody else, which is fair enough. But my problem with all of that is that fine, we don't see this person change, but the people on the other side of of that cover will see the change. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We'll see this 7-year-old girl become 6'2", or all of a sudden, like, like what the fuck, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that irks me as well. So I guess that's how it goes. But
Yeah,
what I
I
like
mean,
about that,
no, you're right. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's when he was changing in broad, like if he was like walking behind pillars on an empty subway or something like that and changing, fine. But it's like no, there's a public place. There's a lot of like people around, and it's just I don't know. Yeah, it's just it's
something you
convenient.
tell me nobody would have seen him physically change and not freak out remotely regarding that.
Yeah, right.
Please. And they really did something with the budget as well regarding the show. They really wanted to cut out the physical transformations as much as possible, and also they did something where like a lot of people would stay in human form and not in scroll form, so save money on the makeup as well. So um they
Yeah.
you could just tell when these sort of things are happening. But yeah, um but I'm very happy that they couldn't stop the bomb because the bomb was already there. The other people were decoys, and he blew it up with no hesitation. Love that, absolutely love that. Win for the bad guys in the first episode, and then obviously Maria Hill gets killed. How did you guys feel about that, boss man?
It might be just that. It might be a couple of things. It just might be just that they don't have any more stories with that character to tell. It could be a total fake out. It could be a scroll. There's another one. But
Well,
I hope not. I
Maria Hill
hope it
never really had
is
much story
legit
in the
because I think
first
maybe
place.
Colby's molders.
Yeah, Maria Hill
Yeah, but
never
I would
really had
say
much
maybe
story in the
Colby's
first
molders
place.
has just had enough with the
Had enough. She was hardly
had enough
fucking in
with the
it.
Marvel universe anyway.
I'm just thinking that she's been there since the first Avengers movie. She's a Phase One character. Um, I was very surprised that she got killed off personally, but
Well, they
uh
either did it for shock value or
oh,
they
they
did
did it
it,
for shock value. That was
or
massive
it's
because
just
she
a
got
part of
more.
the plot. Like she's gonna come back at the end.
I hope not, because that will diminish everything. But um, like she got more screen time in this than she got in everything else she's done. Yeah, I mean, she was massive in this, and she died after the first episode. I personally would maybe have kept her a little bit longer, and then maybe killed her off in a latter episode. Not necessarily, not necessarily the finale, but definitely, maybe episode 3 or 4 or something like that. But fair enough, they gave us a massive twist. How did you feel about her death? Were you okay with it? Did it shock you, Cheetah?
It shocked me. I'm still on the fence on I'm still on the fence on whether I'm okay with it or not. I mean, yeah, Maria Hill's been around for a while, but at the same time, I always kind of thought Maria Hill would take over for Nick Fury. I, I always had that hope in the back of my mind that Maria Hill would, because I like Colby Smulders. I like her and everything that she does with the MCU, and that's why I was kind of hoping that she would kind of be a part of like this next era of Marvel, like Phase 4,
Yeah.
5, and 6. And I was hoping Secret Invasion would be that launching point for it, where Nick Fury kind of rides off into the sunset or gets killed in this series, and then Maria Hill takes over. But obviously, if they make this stick, obviously this is not going to be the thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we got a big ending at the end. We got a big explosive ending. We got a massive what do you call it? A twist at the end as well. With Maria Hill dying, people are talking about it could be a bait and switch or whatever. Personally, I don't want any of that. She has to be dead.
I
If
don't
you
want
want
it
to bring
either,
her
only
back,
because they did it in Winter Soldier with Nick Fury. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there's so many parallels to the Winter Soldier. If they do it that way, it's just like that's just one more thing that's kind of really like, do I want her gone? No, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I mean, either going to copy off of the Winter Soldier by doing the same thing to Maria Hill that they did to Nick Fury, or she's actually dead. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of like I kind of want it to stick just for the sake of.
It has to stick. And look, there's other universes. They can always bring her back in that way, in that capacity, and that would be acceptable. I mean, when I say bring her back, I mean like not into the fold, because it will never be the same Maria fucking Hill. It'll be somebody from a parallel universe. But if they ever go to alternative universes, that's one way of like bringing the actress back in some capacity. But regarding this version, I hope if they've gone to this length to kill her, then I hope it's legit. We'll see what happens in the future episodes. Time to market, ladies and gentlemen, or just gentlemen. Cheetah, what are you gonna give this out of 10?
I'll give it a 7. I mean, there was a lot good. There's a lot of good in here, but as I said, it's kind of a bland episode. It would have benefited from having episode 2 along with it, but I think a 7, almost maybe a 6, like a very generous 7, I will say, as we say here.
Guys,
Osman?
I'll give it a very generous 6.
you want to elaborate on that?
Well, Amelia Clark was one of the best aspects. I thought Ben Middleton was great. I thought Taylor Jackson was great. It was just a lot of like stuff that I was just kind of like. I just wish there was a little bit more punch to it. If you know what I mean. No, not going by what Gio was saying before with Sarah Jackson fighting people, but I want to see him more involved in stuff than he is, and I think that's what I want. So, but
Guys,
if they can kind of
sorry,
like keep with a sort of line of maybe doing not shot death, but kind of like unexpected things, then I'd want that.
Well, guys, I'm with you on this. I'm also going to give it what I would consider to be a very generous 6 out of 10. I don't know what to expect. I know very little of the Secret Invasion storyline in comic books and stuff like that. I know of it. I don't know anything about it, if you know what I mean. I never followed that particular arc, or I never read the comics on that or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
But this episode, and I don't expect this TV show to be, replicating what happened in the comics at all.
It cannot, because you'd have to have the entire Avengers
Yeah,
involved.
exactly. Like what made the other films like Winter Soldier and Civil War and stuff like that work is that the essence was similar to the comics, regardless of the story being different.
Mhm.
And that's what I want. I want the essence, whatever that essence. I mean, the thing is, I know about the essence of those because I know about the comics from those, but I don't know what the essence is for Secret Invasion. But if people feel the same essence from it in this series, then that's what matters to me the most. You know, I'm not one of these people who feel that you need to follow every aspect of the comics. I think it's impossible to do something along those lines. Just stay faithful in whatever capacity you can. When you're bringing something from the comics onto the screen, that's all that really matters to me. So yeah, it gets a 6 out of 10 for me. Not the best start, but the star power kind of Colby Smulders as well. Actually, I forgot to mention her name in that list of big time actors in this. Um, the star power is what made this episode for me. It was stacked. It really was fucking stacked. So yeah, it gets a 6 out of 10 for being a stacked episode with lots of famous names and ending with one of the biggest deaths in Avengers. Probably since I mean, I'm not comparing it to Tony Stark dying in the sense that but there hasn't been anybody of significance who's died since him. Black Widow and Tony
Uh,
Stark.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say Jane Foster's to me was a pretty big one, only because I
Yeah,
really liked her performance
I
as
agree.
Lady Thor, or what is it, Mighty Thor? Not Lady Thor, Mighty Thor. And she was a part of Phase 1 and everything, but she'd been absent for so long that I agree with you, like kind of the same deal. But no, I agree. Losing Maria Hill's to me is a big deal. So I agree with you. It's kind of a
Maria Hill
shocker
has also has more crossover as well. Like Jane Foster, she's only been in 4.
Mhm.
And unfortunately for Jane Foster as well, it's like you kind of knew that she was going to die because she had cancer. So it was on the cards, so to speak. It wasn't like, will they, won't they die? No one knew that Black Widow was going to die. Nobody knew that Tony Stark was going to die, and nobody kind of knew that Maria Hill was going to die. And this was significant. And I don't know whether to admire it, applaud it, or not, or I don't know how to take it. But my jaw did drop. I have to admit, when she died, I was thinking, fuck me, they did it. They really did it. So yeah. All right. Let us know what you think here on YouTube land regarding Secret Invasion episode 1 of season 1, I guess. And are you looking forward to episode 2? No, you're underwhelmed like we are. Were you underwhelmed? It's hard to say, Cheetah. Were you underwhelmed?
A little bit. As I said, I really think this would have
Yeah,
been better if it was paired with episode 2. And I haven't seen
I
episode 2, I'm
agree.
just saying. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 2. If it's not kind of like sped up by episode 3, as I said, it's kind of like Andor, where it's like it takes a slow burn, it takes a while for it to build up, but hopefully by episode 3 things kind of get really moving, like big time, So
Yeah,
that's my hope.
yeah, because the thing with a show like this, when you only got 6 episodes, I don't want it to be plodding along and all right, all next thing you know, we're already in the fucking penultimate episode and finale. Like
And
we
then
need to
finally
wrap this
something
shit up.
happens.
Yeah, exactly. Like no, 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 no. Like like the second episode, we need to really get into the thick of things because before you know it, we're already thinking about the show finishing. So yeah, um, we need something juicy to get our teeth into next week. Personally, I would love to. I'm looking forward to seeing how Nick Fury takes this because he probably has like a paternal relationship with Maria Hill. You know, so losing her and somebody he probably looked upon as somebody under his supervision, he's gonna take. He's already lost Coulson, now he's lost Hill, he's lost Black Widow. You know what I mean? His whole fucking team's dying. And Hawkeye's is retired. So like they're all leaving him. So yeah. Anyway, let us know what you guys think here in YouTube land regarding this first episode, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye bye.